So let's just interrogate that a bit further. That was where we started with the concept that perhaps 15% of people only make up their mind with a pencil in a hand. And why we still use a pencil is another topic, but we'll come to that at another point. I think we've invented the pen by now, but anyway.
Well, you can rub them out more easily when you're tallying them.
That's true. As Stalin said, it doesn't matter who votes, it matters who counts the votes. Going back to the concept of those disengaged voters, as someone who's run campaigns, what are the techniques to engage them? I mean, as a marketer, we understand the motivators for people. Fear is one of the biggest motivators. It's ugly, but that's the reality. Fear is one of the biggest motivators. Fear of missing out is another huge motivator. And as Paul Keating, I think, famously said, never get in the way of self-interest.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. The reality is that negative campaigns work. People don't like them. They get frustrated by them, particularly the people who've already made their mind up. But the reality is you're trying to talk to that smaller group of people who haven't made their mind up, and negative ads, whether it's demonising a policy or an individual, it works. And we've seen in the last few weeks the Labor Party have been very successful in trying to position a view about Peter Dutton. And that's been reflected in some polling shifts that we've seen in the last short period. So it does work, and you're right, fear of the unknown is a genuine issue. The other point you made was what's in it for me.
Yeah.
And this is why elections are often about what am I getting? Am I getting
what am I
a tax
voting
cut?
for?
Am I getting a tax cut? Am I going to get a grant to help me pay my electricity bills, or am I going to get a new railway station or
Train to
a
the
road?
airport, maybe.
So that's what we term as retail politics, basically, and that goes down to the grassroots level, electorate by electorate. What benefit are we getting here? And we made this point when we were talking at our forum the other day. That I did anyway, and I think you all agreed that policy is hard, personalities are easy.
Well, and that was going to be my next point, because talking about this group of people who are disengaged, they're not interested, they're probably not even listening to parties or candidates saying, well, if you vote for me, I'll rebuild the local football stadium. They're not listening to that. With these individuals, it's about making sure they recognise the name of the candidate. And, I would get polling on a regular basis for seats that I was trying to win, and the first thing I looked at was the name ID and whether that was going up with the candidate. Yeah. So the vote was interesting. That's what you see on the front page of the newspaper that everyone gets excited about. What's the primary vote and what's the two-party preferred vote? What I was mostly concerned about, certainly in the lead up to an election, was does anyone actually know who my candidate is? And often, sometimes you get people with a bit of a local identity, and that gives you a head start. But more often than not, the first time you do a poll with a new candidate, maybe 3 or 4 months out from election, 3% of the population might know them. And I think even half of that 3% probably just said, I know them because I don't want to admit I don't know them. So really the most important thing was getting that name ID up. And it's why you see leaflets appearing in your letterbox all the time. It's call flutes all over people's front yards or on fences in regional communities. And it's none of those signs on people's fences say, vote for this person, you're going to get a new football club, a new football stadium, or a discount on your electricity bill. It just says Matt Harris.
Matt Harris is a name.
And so that is the most important thing, because you want these people at the end of the day to come in to vote, whether it's in early voting or on election day, going, I recognise Matt. He looks like a nice guy. I'm going to vote for him, because I haven't heard of the other ones.